Hey guys, Zach here, coming at you with another video. So today's video is actually going to be a little bit different than I initially anticipated, so I apologize if this video doesn't seem as well structured, because of the fact that this is very last minute, because today's video was originally supposed to be about Smash Brothers, and then something happened in that community, so I don't really want to post a video when all this is going on. So today I'm going to be talking about Paper Mario, the Origami King. Recently, there's an interview done by Game Informer with producers or someone or developers from the Intelligent Systems who are obviously developing Paper Mario. And they said some things in this article, and even some other bits that isn't in this particular article that are a bit concerning for me. And there's one major point that I really want to talk about in today's video. So this is going to be an interesting video, guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. All that stuff down below if you like today's content. Check out the merch store too. Cool stuff on there as well. And yeah, so I don't know what else to say besides let's get right on into it. So we're going to read this article together. This is an article on GameSkinny.com. They basically kind of summarized what happened with Game Informer and Intelligent Systems because I don't want to read the whole entire interview. This kind of sums everything up really, really nicely. So let's get into it. Game Informer recently previewed Paper Mario the Origami King, which yielded a great deal of information about the newest Paper Mario game. For one thing, Paper Mario Origami King has a kind of open world setup, and you won't want to get too comfy with your partner characters either. Origami King boasts a number of massive areas, and since the game isn't built around chapters, you're free to explore as you see fit. The goal is reaching the 5 members of the Legion of Stationery. Each one guards one of the 5 streamers winding their way throughout the world, but Intelligent Systems told Game Informer they aren't just in one place waiting for Mario, they're also scattered around the world. Aside from finding bosses, Mario encounters a number of side quests and one-off events, so it's worth exploring the world. As for how you'll get around Origami King's open world, you've got a number of different transport modes. There's on foot, of course, but there's also a boat and a boot-shaped car. Periodically, Mario gets caught up in airship segments too, where you'll have to fend off enemy papercraft or paper aircraft. Origami King partners like Bobby the Bob-omb don't stick around forever. Intelligent Systems designed a rotating cast so you don't have to decide which friends you should bring along. Olivia, however, remains by your side the whole time. We already saw a few new details about Origami King's combat, but one new tidbit is that you can spend coins to get extra time if you need to mull over how you want to arrange your foes. Toads you rescue along the way can offer hints too, if you pay them back, of course. And those same toads, assuming you rescue them, flock back to Toad Town and open up important shops or areas of the town as well. So, that's the article, and it goes into a lot of little nitty-gritty stuff. Here's the thing, right? I read a different article that for some reason I cannot find now, that really emphasizes the point that Paper Mario the Origami King is not going to be basically going back to the traditional route that a lot of people have been saying. I feel like that's been very misleading from a lot of people. People have been saying that Paper Mario the Origami King is going to be the traditional Paper Mario again, kind of like the Super Mario Party of the series. But here's the thing, it's really not. They said in this other article that really it's going to try a lot of new things, and this is where I get concerned. People are going to say, oh my god, Zach, you're too much of a traditionalist, you like everything to be... No. Let me have an analogy here, a good analogy. It's safe to say that Paper Mario 64 and Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door are the most popular ones in the series. Like, you can't argue that. There's no one who's like, yeah, Sticker Star, let's go. No, you don't get that. So, people really like those first 2 games. Super Paper Mario is kind of in the middle, but then you have the later ones that really started to fall off and not as many people liked. Let's backtrack. Let's go to a different series that people loved in the beginning, didn't really like towards the end. Mario Party. Mario Party, first 8 games are well respected. Sure, there are ones in the middle that people don't really like 5 or even 8. There are games in the middle that, people don't care about, but overall, the first 8 games are the more praised ones. And we're not talking about the handheld ones, we're talking specifically about the home console ones, the main series. So, then you have Mario Parties 9 and 10 that come around. And those ones are not as well received. They are the Sticker Star and Color Splash of the Mario Party series. So just imagine, right? We have obviously Super Mario Party is the next one in line. But let's not include Super Mario Party here. let's say it's E3 2018, right? And they reveal a new Mario Party game, but it's not going to go back to tradition. People have been asking for years, ever since Mario Party 9 basically came out, they wanted to go back to tradition because this new style wasn't it. So, imagine if this Super Mario Party was going to come out, but it wasn't going to go back to tradition. It was going to be a completely new format, completely new everything. I don't think it would have been received as well as it did for being a quote-unquote traditional Mario Party game. I mean, right now, it's sitting at 10 million, over 10 million units sold. The best-selling Mario Party game of all time. And I think a lot of that has to attribute to the fact that people missed the old Mario Party format. Like, that's just, in my opinion, the most obvious thing. Because you look at reviewers and people who've played the game, specifically in the Nintendo community, and they say that they really were excited for this game because of the fact that it promised to return to traditional Mario Party gameplay. So that's where that comes in. And I'm getting that kind of vibe here too with Paper Mario. People don't want a new experience. I mean, they want a new experience, obviously, in terms of story and, you know, everything like that. Like, they want a brand new story. But people want traditional Paper Mario again. Because it's been years since we got a traditional Paper Mario game. Because that's another thing, right? When a game comes out every year, or even every 2 years, you kind of expect some things to change. You know, you don't want the same game every single year. But Paper Mario usually comes out every 4 years. About, give or take, 4 years. So, it's not like this game's coming out every year and it's getting stale or old. In fact, we haven't had the traditional Paper Mario style since, what, 2002, 2003, whenever Paper Mario 1000 Year Door came out. I think it's 2003. So it's been all these years, 17 years, give or take, since we had the traditional Paper Mario system, and that's what fans want. They want it back, and they're not going to get it back, and they're going to get a whole new experience. I feel like so many people are going to say I'm being too pessimistic about this game because, you know, people are going to say it looks good, but from what I remember, there was a lot of hype around Color Splash too, because Color Splash looked good, but then it kind of wasn't. So I feel like we have to tamper our expectations, especially if they're going to experiment and not, you know, go back to the Paper Mario that fans really cared about. Especially with the stuff said here. The open world thing sounds really, really, really cool. You know, having an open world to explore, you know, it's very RPG-like. That's pretty cool. But at the same time, Breath of the Wild kind of suffered from its very, very open world if you think about it. There are so many people out there who don't like Breath of the Wild because of how open it was, because of how different it was. People felt like Breath of the Wild wasn't a Legend of Zelda game because of how different it was. And I feel like that could be applied here too. You know, they're completely removing a lot of the RPG elements to it. They said that the battle is going to be more like a puzzle that you solve, and a lot of the common battles are meant to really only take one turn. You're supposed to solve the puzzle and you defeat all the enemies. So does that mean the enemies don't even get an attack phase? You know, or they shouldn't be able to get an attack phase? So now you're just making all these different changes to this Paper Mario game, and you don't know if it's gonna work or not because they haven't been done before. So if they work, then hey, props to Intelligent Systems for making a new style Paper Mario game that actually works. Only took them 3 times, technically 4 if you don't like Super Paper Mario. But I don't know, it just doesn't make much sense to me that they're wanting to make all these new additions, these new changes, and everything's new, when a lot of the fans just want Paper Mario to be Paper Mario again. Especially with the partners. The partners, I don't even know what they're doing with the partners. They switch out, they rotate out randomly. You don't actually get to use them in battle. They're useful for only like maybe 1 turn for like a special attack. And it changes out. So the one thing I didn't like here, where did it say? Origami King partners like Bobby the Bob-omb don't stick around forever. Intelligent Systems designed a rotating cast so you don't have to decide which friends you should bring along. What's the problem of deciding which partners to bring along? They should have designed it so that each partner had their own benefits, upsides and downsides. so that you had to strategize which characters or which partners would be best for you to take along with you. Leave some partners behind. Figure out which one should be good for defeating a certain boss, or exploring a certain area, or doing a certain task. That should be a lot more strategic than the game just choosing a partner for you and saying, here's what you get. They're not going to help you in battle at all. They're just there for visual eye candy to make it look like you have a partner like the old games. It just seems, I don't know. I'm getting more concerned about this game. Not that it will be a bad game. The game will probably be good, but it's not going to be the Paper Mario game that fans wanted. Look at Bug Fables. A lot of people have been praising this indie game. It's an indie game that fans have been praising and saying, this looks like the Paper Mario game we want. Sure, it's got its flaws, but it's an indie game. It's literally a game made by an independent studio, and they're better at making a Paper Mario game than the developers of Paper Mario. And that's another thing. This doesn't even feel like an RPG. Like I mentioned, the battle system apparently is a more puzzle-based. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen how it works. You're rotating this circle around to line them up. And like I said, apparently battles are supposed to only last one turn. At least the more simple battles. Not boss battles, obviously, but random encounters battles are only supposed to take one turn. And apparently you don't get EXP, which kind of defeats the purpose of those small battles. Because small battles are all about building up your EXP, leveling up, getting ready for the big baddies. The bosses that require more health for you to have, more power, more everything. So if all you need are to go to a Toad shop in town and buy a few hammer items, and that's all you need to defeat these bosses, what's the point? I mean, maybe you get the coins from the battles, but aren't there other ways that you get coins in the game? Like, I thought there were other ways that you got coins. I don't know. It's really confusing, and I mean, like I said, it'll probably be a good game. It'll probably be a game that is fun to play. But I don't think it will satisfy the wants of the Paper Mario fans. The real hardcore OG Paper Mario fans. And I know, trust me, I know this from being a Luigi's Mansion fan. There are communities that come in later in the series that don't really care about the original games. So now Nintendo wants to please them. But you gotta remember at the same time, there are all these OG fans who wanted Paper Mario to kind of return a bit to format, have it be a proper RPG. And the fact that Nintendo's like, nah, we're gonna do something completely new, like they're not even gonna stand by what they're doing. They're gonna abandon what they're doing, but rather than going back to tradition, they're like, we'll do something new again. Why? Don't you see all the fan outcry for Paper Mario to kind of, I don't know, return to its old form? I don't know. I honestly am so mixed on this game. Like, there are days where I look at it and I'm like, this looks good. Like, I'm really excited for this game. But then there are some days where I'm like, I don't know if I like this. It just doesn't look traditional enough. And I know it's really nitpicky to say, you shouldn't just expect, the game to go back to how it used to be in the olden days. But those were arguably the best games in the series. Even Super Paper Mario had its uniqueness that made it stand out. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments down below. Overall, I don't know what to think about Paper Mario anymore. I really don't. But yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.